Oh, hey everybody. Jason Burmis here. I'm praying that YouTube has figured out whatever is going on with my stream health and all the Johnny nonsense and the skipping around. I don't know that it has, but if you've been following what's going on with this stream, it finally processed my live stream from 8 o'clock last night, a couple hours ago during the debates, which we're going to get into. But don't worry, just like I've said, every single one of my videos goes up for review, guys. Every one of them. Some of them do get remonetized, but as you can see, that's why your support is so important. And I'm just going to get right into it. If you saw right behind me, if you're taking a look, this is real. I actually watch these debates so you don't have to. So if you want to get your questions in, and by the way, Bill Landon, thank you so much for the super chat right out of the gates. That's much appreciated, good sir. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Why can't I? See, is it going to make me man. And then when I do this, like I can't scroll through yet. Oh, there we go. Now we're re-scrolling. So, Bill Landon, thank you. Get your questions in now, because I'm going to give you my breakdown. Now, before I even get into the beginning of the debate, I want to say that Tulsi Gabbard was able to kick a little ass at the very, very end before the wrap-ups. When they came back for the final break, it's a 2-hour debate, but it actually went 2 hours, 20 minutes plus, right? She got to get some licks in on Pete Bootlicker and our foreign policy and the fact that he said that he would send troops into Mexico. And Bootlicker did not look happy. So, let's just get right into it. How did this thing start off? What? Maddow started it with the impeach hoax. So everything was impeachment. And it was the first 12 minutes were simply just, let's slam Trump. Let's see who we can, get to slam Trump. So they go straight to Grandma Oatmeal, a.k.a. Elizabeth Warren, a.k.a. I'm not electable. And she keeps talking about the Mueller report and obstruction of justice, and she plays into that same line, 442 pages. Remember in a previous debate she said she read the whole thing as soon as she's never read the fucking Mueller report. Grandma Oatmeal, stop with the lies. Okay? It's never happened. So then, actually kind of surprisingly, they went to that Klobuchar, if you will. And she does the same exact thing. She toes the line. We need to impeach. Look at all this evidence. Ukraine, Russia, every trope there is, and Putin. And this is the first time I've noticed this, but does Klobuchar have like Parkinson's or something? I'm not trying to be rude, but she was like shaking every time she talked. So, I don't know, it was something I definitely noticed during the debate, so I wasn't the only one. Then we go to Bernie, and by the way, we're going to do a play-by-play. Go to your questions, play-by-play, et cetera, until that final roundup where we really already called it. Like, if you look at that final rung, everybody just basically said the same thing they always do. Bernie Sanders actually had some good things overall to say in this debate. Not great. He toed the line, too, but I'll give him credit when he did. Tulsi killed it overall. Yang was more unlikable than usual. Tom Steyer says a lot of the right things, but, come on. He's not here to help you either. All right, so Burn Dog, it's another Trump pile-on in the beginning, and he says that Trump is the most corrupt president ever. But then, to his credit, he brings up the rigged economy. I don't think that Trump is the most corrupt president ever. I think that if you look at the Bush administration, although Bush himself probably didn't realize the corruption of that administration and the levels it was on, believe me, the Dick Cheneys, the Paul Wolfowitzes, the Don Rumsfelds, they knew. So then they go to Pete Bootlicker, okay? And if you don't know anything about Pete Bootlicker, he toes the line. He's so party line, I want to vomit. He literally just says every single thing that the party wants him to say in some eloquent fashion and placates to the lowest common denominator. Then we finally get up to Joey B. And they ask him about the Ukraine. It's all, you can tell, he's scared of me. They go to Kamala Harris, more Trump bashing. This is about the 12-minute mark where we finally get to another subject, and it's Elizabeth Warren's 2 cents. We're 2% wealth tax. Grandma Oatmeal's going to save the economy with a 2% oatmeal tax. And now it's the 2 cents on every dollar. 2 cents on every dollar. That's the new line out of Grandma Oatmeal. Boy, the establishment's trying to sell her, and I'm going to tell you right now, they can't. She's not electable. All right, let's take some questions. Do we have any? Oh, there we go. Now we're jumping down. All right, so Bill, let's get it. Trump won. I don't know what that means. Grandma Oates was lame. She was terrible, Mike. Mike, half of Eric Jackman and Mike Jackman. Are you really Jason Burmis? I mean, who else would I be? On Bootlicker. She's against gun rights. I'm not down with that. Kamala sucked. Yeah, she was terrible. And she looked really uncomfortable when she got taken to task by Tulsi Gabbard. But we'll get that. That was really the Tulsi shining big time. It was nice. I was hoping to throw some blows Warren's way. It's tough. It's tough you don't look good picking on Grandma Oatmeal. She looks so fragile. Bill was passed 24-10. Just needs to hit the floor. That was effing boring. Yeah, it wasn't good. Dylan Avery says, good old Grandma Oatmeal. Dude, she's fucking unelectable. Like when she was talking about like the 70s and stuff, and I'm just thinking, when my brothers were all in the military and they had to send, and she got asked a question about women in the military, she somehow moved that to her brothers being in the military and her mom waiting for a letter. Well, guess what? It's 2019. You're not waiting for a letter. You're waiting for a text or something like that. Oh, look at this. YouTube Live. Oh, we're dropping frames. It's happening again. Hey, YouTube, you want to fix the issue or what? What is going on here? I mean, come on. Give me a break. So we're going to go back. Look at this. Oh, dude, this stream thing is killing me. I can't stand when it does that. It's ridiculous. We have the internet. We have the same computer. There's nothing going wrong here on my end. All right, so let's continue. So then we get into Booker, and, he basically won't endorse the wealth tax, but he just, he talks a good game. He's like a used car salesman. That's about it. Warren then goes ahead and invokes race, basically promises everything to everyone. Basically, she invokes race and women, and she promises rainbows and dreams for everyone. Everything going to get paid for with the 2-cent wealth tax. Booker, again, he jumps. They tried to make like some stage thing with her and Booker, but it was just so like patty cakes. It was nothing. There was one thing I did like. Warren called billionaires freeloaders. Freeloading billionaires. Now listen, there are people that are born into wealth, but it's beyond that billionaire wealth. It's talking about bloodline wealth. We're talking about royal families, whether they be Saudi Arabian or European, right? And don't get me wrong, they are the kings of many industries. But when you're talking about a lot of other billionaires, people that maintain those industries, you think Jeff Bezos, whether you like him or not, is a freeloader? No. It's ridiculous. Freeloading billionaires. Then they go back to Bootlicker, and he went with an Obama throwback. Lots of bootlicking, those Obama days. He's literally, to me, a blue-eyed demon. Reminds me a lot of Lucifer, Pete Bootlicker does. And he says a very big transformation is coming, okay? So then, back to Grandma Oatmeal. I want to point out again, we still haven't been to Tulsi Gabbard once at this point. It's 20-plus minutes before we get there. Medicare for all, day one. She says she's going to do it day one. And the first 100 days, they're going to be great. We're going to bring down Big Pharma. Lots of promises. I would say 0 results. Again, Grandma Oatmeal, not electable. Bernie, he wrote the damn bill. And then he goes after Big Pharma, and they're some of the best statements he makes. I'll give him that. When you're talking about the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry, it's not hard to point out the massive amount of corruption. So, Bernie, kudos to you for that one little round. You did well there. Excuse me for a moment. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, thank you, folks. We're going to continue. Now, Biden, he says basically he's honest about how they're going to have to, how they would never be able to pass Medicare for all. And he's right. It's not a passable bill. So finally, 24 minutes in, Gabbard Gets to tell it like it is about the Democrats. She gets to call out Clinton, the military-industrial complex, Trump, Bush, Clinton, foreign policy. And when she says Clinton foreign policy, she's referring to Hillary Clinton. So she's talking about the Obama administration. I think that's important to point out. I'm not saying that Bill Clinton's foreign policy was good, but she may be coupling both of them. And she even talks about ending this new Cold War. And believe me, there was plenty of Russia hysteria throughout this whole thing, which Andrew Yang bought into big time and made me kind of sick and pandered to for some claps, by the way. So after that, this is where they set up the big Tulsi attack. This is where Kamala Harris basically attacks Tulsi, tries to insinuate because she met with Assad, she's a terrible person. She's ashamed to be up on the stage with somebody like her. And she says that basically she's also a Trump administration bootlicker. Fox News, all this stuff. So Gabbard comes back and says, listen, she can't challenge the substance of the issues that I'm bringing up. So she's trying to use these talking points to attack my character. Harris looks so bad once again. She doesn't even try to come back. She makes it about her. So this is the first time we see Stoyer in the debates. And he just says, he beats them all. And he talks a very good game about all these corrupt people. But Stayer's a big, climate change is his number one. You'll hear it again. It's his number one. It's his number one. It's his number one. And he's a climate credit kind of guy, a carbon tax kind of guy, a guy who, is looking to make that into a business, whether you understand that or not. So back to Cloba Clown. And she actually sounds good on voting, and voters, not only voters' rights, but basically going after voter fraud, which is a real issue. So she had one moment to shine. 32 minutes in, we finally hear about Yang, and he starts talking about the AI race, and that's the new arms race with China. And again, not an unintelligent thing for Yang to say. All right, let's go back to some of these questions. Remember, I'll take all super chats, guys, as long as I don't accidentally go over them. You know that's always a possibility. We're in the top chat. Rachel Maddow, the mad cow herself. Laugh my effing AO wants to impeach Trump for investigating political opponent, votes opposition research called Mueller report. I know. Amy was on Adderall. She was on Adderall. Yeah, she was shaking all over the place. Shiz was watered down. Not much policy being spoken. No. Tulsi, Bernie, 2020. They certainly sounded the best tonight, for sure. Bernie did have his moments. Yeah, Klobuchar was. Oh, sorry. Whoa. Here we go. Let's see. Klobuchar was definitely trembling. I thought she was frightened or had some sort of Parkinson's. I believe it. It was every time, though. I don't think the fright was there. Trump ties them all. I don't know what that means. He is certainly the most pro-Zio POTUS. I mean, pretty openly pro-Israel on just about everything. Joe Biden was just informed this is a 2019 debate and not the 2008 one. Wait. Weed is not bad anymore? I know. He said he would decriminalize marijuana. It was one of the few things, and he would expunge everybody's record. One of the few things I was really with Joey B on tonight. He had another moment where he talked about Saudi Arabia. Cory Booker also had a moment talking about Saudi Arabia and Yemen. Bernie even brought up the Palestinian-Israeli conflict at one point. But we'll keep going through it. Pete Platitudes has no plan to fix anything. Damn it, Jason, I just had some buffering. I know. The 2% oatmeal tax. That's what we need. We don't need a tax on the wealthy. We need a 2% oatmeal tax. Grandma Oatmeal, make it happen. Jason Burmas flipped on cannabis because the House passed a bill to reschedule and legalized cannabis today. Did they? I'm send me a DM, MF Doom Mad Villain. I'll check that out. Hebrews says, I read somewhere the Patriot Act was being slipped into another bill that is scheduled for a vote soon. Send me some info on it. Glenn Beckham, God bless anyone who could sit through 2 hours of oatmeal, creepy uncles, booty ZZ, and nonsense. I don't have to. Congrats on 37K. Yeah, we hit 37K today, despite all the technical difficulties over the last week or so. Yes, I know about the buffering. Thank you, Crazy Marie. Thanks for watching, Jason, so I didn't have to. And they're still playing with your feed. Yeah, I'm trying not to. Why was Biden trying to take down domestic violence while saying we have to beat it down and punching? Yes, he is an idiot. Didn't he say Blafrican? He was trying to say like black African American. He said Blafrican African or something ridiculous where he got called out by Kamala earlier. All right. So let's continue on through the thing. So now we're back after the arms race talk with Yang. Back to Bootlicker. And you see him actually gulp in this one because he's asked whether or not he's really electable, seeing he got less than 11,000 votes to be elected and he lost his first really national election by a lot. And you see him do a little gulp, but he's very good at being an establishment talking point head. And he did a good job of saying, well, I don't have any money. I'm the poorest guy up here. Yes, you might be, but you're funded by billionaires, Bootlicker. That's why you're up on that stage. Because you're an establishment puppet, Petey. That's what you are. And then, let's see. Klobuchar had this comment where she dug in on Bootlicker, and she starts just talking about women's rights and kind of gives Bootlicker, I didn't really mean anything by it, but she's still shaking. She shakes through the whole thing. Joey B comes back in. And he's the best, according to Joey B. He's the only one that did this, and he's past that, and he knows this guy, and he works with everyone. He's Joey fucking B. And then Booker comes back with more nonsense, and then that's when Mad Cow returns, okay? And she starts talking about, but one thing he said that I liked, and this is where I'll give him credit, he rejects that America is really that divided. And he thinks that the media is taking it too far. And I agree with that, but then he also takes it too far and starts saying that we're all together on gun issues and all that other stuff. I think there are nuances. I don't think we're as divided as the mainstream media would have us believe. Let's see. Then we get back into Biden, and it's just Biden's bullshit on prosecution babble. He's so full of it. Basically, he's saying, we need to get this Trump administration, and we need to let the powers that be prosecute these criminals. Toss me off, Joey. Sanders, it's a love fest with Joe and Attorney General and impeachment. And, that's another thing. Bernie's big on that. He loves to bash Trump. He's the worst. He's the most corrupt president we've ever had. So then Yang comes in, they start talking about paid family leave, okay? And moves to the point of more parents staying at home. Now, I'm not necessarily against parents being able to stay at home, but that's by building a better economy so that we can live in a society where, one man with one job or one woman with one job could maybe support a family, and the other person could be the caretaker. But that's just not possible in today's society. And so Klobuchar talks about 3 months of paid leave. Then Harris comes in and says she has a 6-month paid leave plan. And it's just because she doesn't really answer the question of how or why we'd be able to do it, other than that's a reality for women. It was bizarre. Steyer talks about the homeless crisis, and he starts talking good, but then he loses me on climate change and policy when he's talking about the homeless crisis. Grandma Oatmeal comes in on the housing talk. Booker says refunds for rent. I mean, tax refunds for renters. Let me explain to people. I'm gonna give you Jason Bermas's 2020, how we fix the housing problem, we fix the homeless crisis and things like San Francisco. Now, we already have programs, okay, hear me out, where prisoners, okay, in different, public and private prisons. When I say public, I mean they're basically federally run and not privatized. So federal and private prisons, where they learn a trade, right? But why not learn a real trade? We already have Job Corps and all these other things, right? So why not get these prisoners to learn carpentry? And then we go into underdeveloped or completely undeveloped areas, and we use them to build on those areas using the funding we already do through the state and the Fed. Now, number one, these people will become certified. They'll learn a trade. They'll become electricians and construction workers and plumbers. You understand? All that'll go into building these communities. So now you have these underdeveloped or newly popping up communities where you do have like housing structures of 3 to 4 or 5 apartments in a building, in different areas where there's 5 of those, So 25 apartments in a block, that kind of thing. Not really a project, but you get my thing. But then you also have neighborhoods where it's 3 to 5 person homes. And those homes are designated at a discount rate. And at the same time, people that have worked through those programs and become certified when they get out can then rent from those areas at a discounted rate. Everybody wins. But we'll never talk about solutions like that, okay? That's not what we're ever talking about. When we're talking about low-income housing and how we fix it and how we actually get people to learn skills and we break the cycle of poverty. Just a thought, you know. Kamala proves she can't handle stress. Grab her by the oatmeal. My question screwed up his stream. Back on. Oh no, Jason's going to go ballistic. Twitter is really trying to push anti-Kamala. Yeah, but Tulsi was the one that was trending, if anybody saw that. Let's see. Hebrew, it was slipped into the continuing resolution. Already been passed. I don't know what that means. It's running good now. Your ISP could be messing with you, Jason. I hope my internet service provider is not messing with me. The only 2 Dem candidates worth anything are Yang and Gabbard. Yang was terrible tonight, man. Let's keep going. Stoyer, climate issue number 1. Biden doesn't need Doesn't need a lecture from Stoyer, and he attacks Stoyer for being a guy that made his money on coal. Stoyer responds. Bernie passes some big climate alarmism. This is where I can't stand Bernie. He says that 8 to 9 years, major cities will be underwater. No, they will not. No, they will not, Bern. 8 to 9 years, Bernie said, major cities will be underwater. Nope. And he also said prosecute carbon producers. Possibly, go after those people criminally. Also scary, Bernie. Not going to lie. Scary. Let's see. Damn, that sucks. I don't know what that means. Pete is the worst. Let's move forward off this bullshiz. Okay. The Omen. Pete is CIA approved. I agree. Pete was acting like he was a soldier in Afghanistan when he was a CIA paper pusher. Exactly. Opioid crisis is partly from Big Pharma. Big Pharma is a monster that needs to be slayed. Bernie hit the fossil fuels hard. 9 years he's given us. Yes, we just read that, but thank you, Dr. Stephen H. Jason is feeling the berm. Bless you. By the way, sneeze. Pete can't financially afford to rig every poll like Iowa's. Yeah, I know. They had him at 25% in the Iowa caucus. That's incredible. That's incredibly ridiculous. Toy soldier like Prince Andrew, he heard 3 bullets from 3 miles away, and he can't sweat. I know. None of them bring up intel agencies and things like sex trafficking. OMG, WF, Burmese! Kissinger foreign policy, CFR policy. Warren will get the nod. Soros is backing her. Warren is unelectable. She's unelectable. They know it. I really feel like they're going to try to either push Bloomberg or they're going to try to get Hillary into the mix, guys. I can't see anything else. All those people on the stage, the only one that is electable is Tulsi Gabbard. And we've got, I believe, a flick off. Yes, been a tough few days for you, bro. Keep your head up. We got your back. Dude, it's tough. Listen, I want to produce the best content that I can. It is frustrating to me when I can't do that. I'm not going to lie. It is very, very frustrating to me. It makes me want to get an office and again, get the business class internet and everything before that 12 months. But I got so much to do in my life, guys. You got to understand. With the kids, with whether I want to stay in New York or not. New York is just, it's so oppressive in spots. I know I'm in upstate New York, but you got to understand, man, just the regulations. They turned the smoking age, the tobacco age is 21 here now. 21. Come on. All right, and that's, whatever. I could care less. I don't smoke cigarettes, and obviously I'm a 40-year-old man. I can do whatever I want, but it's just, I hate the authoritarianism and how these things roll here. So after that, there's some North Korea fear-mongering, and they let Harris really go after Trump for daring to talk to North Korea, saying he pandered to them, and then she just gives off some real lying bullshit. She invokes the Curtis situation, and it really made me sick. It's classic Kamala Harris. All right. After that, what do we have? We had Biden in there with the North Korea bashing, Putin fear-mongering. Finally, at an hour and 12 minutes into the debates, they talked about Afghanistan. Now, Bernie, of course, said he voted against the first Iraq War, the Gulf War, and then the Iraq War, but he didn't vote against that war on terror. And, I was showing my buddy a video that I had done. Let me see if I can find it over here. I probably can't, but I'm going to try to find it over here. Let's see if I can do that. Bam. There's a video here where if you guys have not seen it yet, okay, it is a must watch. And why do I say it's a must watch? It's me going over Biden and the Pakistani ISI. And you would think that by now, this would be like a big issue. Like we'd be able to see it. It's right here. So if you want to see Joey B, the Dark Overlord, he's covered this up for almost 18 years. Biden, met with one of the main financiers of 9/11 from the Pakistani ISI. If you've never seen that video, and there's a good chance you haven't seen, there's under 2,000 views. The Dark Overlord, he has helped cover this up for almost 18 years. You want to wake somebody up to the fact they were lied about 9/11? That's a must watch. That's a must watch. Please go watch that. All right, so let's continue on here. I just don't see Bernie really getting us out. He says he's going to get us out. I don't believe it. I think he's all talk and no action. We get to Yang, and it's the Putin placating. He calls, he said if he had to call Putin, the first thing he would say to him is, I beat your guy. He talked about election meddling. He's pro-NATO. He invoked Mattis. James Mad Dog Mattis is a warmonger. He's someone you should not invoke. Okay? So then Booker comes in and he starts criticizing the president on China, and I guess rightfully so. But then, he talks about whether we should get involved in Hong Kong, and I'm not sure yet. I don't know whether we want to, have any kind of real involvement in Hong Kong if we don't already have intelligence involvement. And by the way, he talks about the Yemen connection, but then he goes back to China and Putin. So he talks about how we shouldn't, be teaming up with Saudi Arabia to be in Yemen. So Booker, again, is slick. He'll throw in a few real things, but he knows he doesn't have a chance, and he's backed by those same billionaires that are backing Bootlicker just to stay in the conversation. Take time away from people like Tulsi Gabbard. This is the long game. They know a lot of these people can't win, but they keep the mic away from the dangerous opponents. Biden says he would be tough on the Saudis and end subsidies and all aid to the Saudis. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. Then they start talking about Khashoggi, Klobuchar gets in there. Bernie goes hard on the Saudis. He says that basically he has to get them and Iran in a room and they got to figure out their differences. He sounds great. And then he even talks about the Israeli and Palestinian conflict. Sounds great. I don't think he's going to have any action. So then that's when we get to Elizabeth Warren and her weird military comment where she sounded like a senile old woman. And she parlayed that somehow into climate change, believe it or not. Bootlicker gets in there with an establishment military response. And then they try to make white supremacism the new terrorism. Now, Gabbard is the one that gets posed this question. They try to pin her. See, they try to give her a question they know she can't give a great answer to. But she flipped it into prison reform, which I thought was pretty brilliant. The best answer that she could have given on that question, she did. But, Yang, of course, went with it being domestic terrorism. Biden somehow got a softball Me Too question. Think about that. They didn't even insinuate, oh, by the way, you're on video dozens of times inappropriately touching young girls. Not even just women, young girls. Joe, how do you feel about Me Too? No, lay it up, T-ball, softball bullshit is what they gave him. Kamala, she comes in there. She fumbles a little bit, race and gender card. Bootlicker, ponies up to Kamala. It's a team game. Warren comes in with student loan forgiveness, makes it a racial issue, starts talking about women and children in cages, parlays that, into the wall and saying, hey, we don't need the wall. Booker says, we don't need the wall, just tear the wall down. We don't need any walls. And that's when, at the very end, just before the last break, Biden had to say that he would decriminalize marijuana. Yes, okay. So let's continue to take your questions, and then we're going to wrap it up, guys. That was the 2-hour and 20-minute Democratic debate that I watched. Why? So you don't have to. So you don't have to. All right. Oh, let's see. Where were we? Ba-ba. Oh, whoa. We got a lot in here. Partly big. Jason is feeling... Oh, we did that already. Yang did that. Disappointing. He did a lot that was disappointing tonight. Warren is hot effing garbage. She backs the coup in Bolivia. Soros is probably backing everybody with his billions. Tulsi hasn't denounced the coup in Bolivia either. U.S. military is the biggest polluter on Earth. Google it. It is. Soros is another lackey, buffering like crazy. Those people are scary crazy. U.S. military uses 30% of their daily oil used per day. No wonder oil everywhere is to national security concern. Joe Biden, go play with your Tinker toys, you old coot. Kamala looked very uncomfortable, lacking self-confidence, still running on Barry Soetoro's coattails. Yeah, she didn't look great. What's the whistleblower's name? Isn't it Eric CIA Aramella, I think is what they're saying his name is, but I don't know. Stayer needed Rapey McGregor to ask, who the fuck is that guy? Oh, boy. I hear they set up Booker with actress Rosario Dawson to be his beard. I believe that's probably true. Pete was a moron. Let's see. Vindman, Trudeau, ba-ba-ba. Guys, I think we're going to do it. I think that's going to do it. But again, listen, you want to see a video? Wake you up to 9/11, wake you up to Joey B's gangster ties, and knowing all about 9/11 and the Pakistani involvement. The Dark Overlord, he has helped cover this up for almost 18 years. Must watch. Thumbs this video up. Share it with others. I really hope that we are going to get over all these streaming issues. YouTube, please, can we please just get over them? Hopefully this is going to process and people are actually going to see it. You can share it. We can grow. We can hit over 37K. That would be very, very nice. Let's get to 40,000. We're doing it 3 to 7 times a day on numerous subjects. And if you want to financially support me, I got the GoFundMe. I love you guys. And with that being said, I'll see you on the flip side.